Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you are the only human left on Earth. No people, no voices, no messages, just absolute silence. At first it might feel like an adventure, complete freedom with no rules, no responsibilities, and no one to tell you what to do. But as time passes, the reality of being completely alone in the world would sink in, bringing both challenges and psychological struggles. The first thing you would notice is the eerie silence. No car horns, no bustling crowds, no conversations, just the sounds of nature and abandoned cities. Everything that once operated because of humans, airports, power plants, and water treatment facilities would begin to shut down. Some systems, like electricity, would last for a few days or weeks, but eventually, power grids would fail without human maintenance. You would have access to endless resources, food and grocery stores, vehicles, fuel, and houses to live in. However, without refrigeration and fresh supplies, most food would spoil quickly. You would need to learn survival skills, such as hunting, fishing, and food preservation, to sustain yourself in the long term. One of the biggest problems would be securing a safe water supply. Without human management, water systems would stop functioning, and you would need to rely on natural sources like rivers, lakes, and rainwater. Purifying water would become essential to avoid contamination and disease. Medical issues would also be a serious concern. If you got injured or sick, there would be no doctors or hospitals to help. You would need to rely on whatever medical supplies you could find in abandoned pharmacies. Learning basic first aid and self-treatment techniques would be crucial for survival. Another challenge would be protecting yourself from wild animals. With no human activity to keep them away, some animals might reclaim cities and towns, making it dangerous to roam freely. While physical survival is one thing, the psychological toll of being completely alone could be devastating. Humans are social creatures, and prolonged isolation can lead to depression, anxiety, and even hallucinations. With no one to talk to, you might start talking to yourself, recording messages, or even forming imaginary friends just to keep your mind occupied. Over time, the loneliness could become unbearable. The lack of human connection, companionship, and purpose might make life feel meaningless. The biggest question you would have to ask yourself is, why keep going? Finding ways to stay mentally strong, such as setting goals, keeping a journal, or adopting pets, could help maintain a sense of purpose. With no other humans left, your existence would be a mystery. How long would you live? Could you rebuild civilization? Would you eventually die out, leaving Earth to return to nature? Being the last person on Earth would be a mix of absolute freedom and absolute despair. You might enjoy the quiet for a while, but eventually, the deep loneliness and struggle for survival would make it one of the toughest challenges any human could face.